Hey everyone! History is filled with dark and disturbing chapters, but few are as infamous as the crimes of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party. You may have learned about these horrors in school, watched documentaries, or read books on the subject. However, there are still many lesser-known details that add another layer to this grim history. Today, we're uncovering some of the most surprising and unsettling facts about Hitler and the Nazi regime. Details that rarely make it into textbooks, but are just as important in understanding the full picture. Before we begin, make sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss a deep dive into history's most shocking moments. Now, let's get started. The crimes of Adolf Hitler and the Nazi Party are a well-known part of modern history. Some of you may have learned about this topic at school, while others may have encountered it in documentaries or films. Either way, chances are you know something about this topic already. Yet this dark chapter from our past contains many details that aren't common knowledge. While these details aren't fundamental to the history of Nazi Germany, they're still fascinating to know about. Hitler was a fan of King Kong. Unsurprisingly, Hitler's film preferences tend to be left out of school history lessons. For those who don't know, the Führer was a big film buff who enjoyed private screenings for himself and his inner circle. Released the same year as Hitler's rise to power, King Kong, 1933, was a firm favorite for the Nazi leader. Precisely what he enjoyed about this flick is rather ambiguous, though it is believed he spoke about the film for days after first seeing it. What's more, following Germany's successful occupation of Czechoslovakia in March 1939, Hitler impersonated the Great Ape, pacing down the corridors of Prague Castle and beating his chest like a gorilla. The swastika symbol did not originate in Nazi Germany. The moment you see the swastika, your mind jumps immediately to the Nazi Party. This symbol was plastered across Germany during the Nazis' reign and could be found in schools, the Reichstag, and other public buildings. But this symbol was around long before the Nazis. In ancient Greece, for example, the symbol could be found on pots, coins, and vases. It was also used by the Celts in representations of the goddess Bridget. In the late 19th and early 20th century, the symbol was used in cartography to indicate electric power plants. It was even part of the logo for ASEA, a Swedish manufacturer that made electrical machinery. The first Nazi concentration camp was not designed for Jews. Owing to the influence of popular culture, we tend to associate concentration camps with the Holocaust. However, contrary to popular belief, the first concentration camp set up by the Nazis wasn't designed to imprison members of the Jewish community. The concentration camp in question was established in 1933 and located on the grounds of an abandoned factory near the town of Dachau, about 10 miles northwest of Munich. During the camp's first year, it had a capacity of approximately 5,000, as well as political opponents of the Nazi Party. The camp also contained Jehovah's Witnesses, Roma gypsies, homosexuals, repeat criminal offenders, and asocials, such as vagrants and vagabonds. Hitler had a close relationship with a member of the British aristocracy. Unity Mitford was a socialite and member of the British aristocracy. She, like many others in her family, favored fascism and sympathized with the goals of the Nazi Party. In the 1930s, Mitford became obsessed with Hitler, frequenting the Nazi leader's favorite restaurant, the Osteria Bavaria, every day for 10 months before he finally asked her to join his table. Soon, Mitford transitioned from a groupie to a member of his inner circle. She even appeared on a balcony with him in Vienna during the German annexation of Austria in March 1938. Mitford's close relationship with Hitler lasted for 4 years. But it all came crashing down when Germany invaded Poland in September 1939. With the Second World War underway, Mitford hated seeing Britain and Germany as international enemies, for she was very patriotic despite her fondness for Nazi Germany. Overcome with grief, she attempted to commit suicide with a bullet to the head. However, the bullet lodged itself inside her brain, leaving her with substantial brain damage that resulted in her premature death in 1948. Hitler had a major disagreement with his propaganda minister. Joseph Goebbels was an essential cog in the Nazi machine. As the Minister of Propaganda, he wielded a huge amount of cultural power and oversaw the Nazification of German society. Despite being a married man, Goebbels had sexual relations with a number of women, including the Czech actress Lida Barova. He was so besotted with her that he tried to make her his second wife. Mrs. Goebbels pushed back against this proposal, threatening her husband with divorce. When Hitler found out about the incident, he was furious. As far as he was concerned, high-ranking Nazi officials should never divorce, for it would lead to a massive scandal and damage the government's reputation. This whole affair left Goebbels in disgrace. There was an award in Nazi Germany for women who had lots of children. The superiority of white Aryans was a fundamental aspect of the Nazis' ideology. It was vital, therefore, that young women remained strong and fertile in order to give birth to healthy Aryans. Brainwashing girls at school was an essential part of the Nazi scheme, but they also introduced an award for women who had lots of children. This award was known as the Honor Cross of the German Mother, or simply the Mother's Cross. There were 3 grades for this award: bronze for mothers of 4 or 5 children, silver for mothers of 6 or 7 children, and gold for mothers of 8 children or more. To enforce the value of the award, members of the Hitler Youth had to salute women who wore the Mother's Cross. There were less than 200 defendants at the Nuremberg trials. This one often surprises people. Given the scale of the Nazi Party's operations both at home and abroad, it would be logical to assume thousands of people were tried at the Nuremberg trials. But this assumption would be incorrect. Starting in November 1945 and ending in October 1946, the Nuremberg trials featured 199 defendants, most of whom denied their responsibility, blaming orders from on high for the crimes they committed. Of the 199 defendants, 161 were convicted, though most, but certainly not all, avoided the death penalty. Plenty of high-ranking criminals escaped the hands of justice by fleeing Europe and living abroad in distant countries, such as Argentina. The Dr. Joseph Mengele, for example, was one of many Nazis who found refuge in the South American country. The crimes of Nazi Germany left an irreversible mark on history. But even in the darkest periods, there are details that continue to fascinate, shock, and remind us of the depths of human cruelty and resilience. Understanding these lesser-known facts helps us see the bigger picture and ensures that history is never forgotten. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe for more deep historical dives, and leave a comment below on which facts surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.